در اورشلیم با آمیخای چیکلی، وزیر مبارزه با یهودستیزی و امور دیاسپورای اسرائیل دیدار کردم. این دیدار فرصتی بود تا در مورد وضعیت کنونی میان ایران و اسرائیل و همچنین چشمانداز روابط این دو کشور در فردای ایران آزاد گفتگو کنیم. جناب وزیر، شما دیداری داشتیم با جناب شاهزاده رضا پهلوی و ما فقط عکس‌هایی از این دیدار رو در فضای مجازی دیدیم، اما اطلاعات بیشتری یا اینکه درباره چه چیزی شما گفتگو کردین در واقع در هیچ جای اطلاع رسانی نشد. از شما میخواهم که اگر ممکنه به ما بگید که هدفتون از این دیدار و گفتگو چه بود؟
Okay. So I think first we need to understand that the war that started on October 7 is not a war about territory. It's not a war between two rival political ideologies. This is what Samuel Huntington called the clash of civilization, in between the Western civilization, Judeo-Christian civilization that cherish life and freedom, and the tyranny of the Ayatollah in Iran, who does not represent the people of Iran, and we know it, that cherish death and tyranny. So this is life versus death. This is tyranny versus freedom. This is the true nature, and this is the essence of this war. And therefore, whether we fight the Houthis in Yemen, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, which we just released today videos of Hamas torturing their own people. This is our war, and this is not the war, just the war of Israel and the Jewish people. This is the war of the free world. So, meeting Reza Pahlavi, meeting the leader of the opposition, who believes in the value of life, in the value of freedom. For us, that was the reason why we met, because we have a common enemy and we have shared values. This is not a political, casual meeting. This is a meeting that takes place in the context of the war against evil, against tyranny, against a totally bad regime that is based on cherishing tyranny and death. And I think that the regime in Iran is far more weaker than it seems. The people, most of the people in Iran do not believe in the regime, and we can see it in the percentage of the people who are going to vote, because they all know there is no meaning for their vote. It's Khamenei that decides who will be the leader. He himself is the leader, the ancestor of Khomeini. And Khomeini is the root of this disaster, because he took Iran, that was connected to the Western world, that have a powerful economy, and he took Iran back into the medievals, thousands of years backwards. And I think it's a huge tragedy for the entire region, because everywhere, like in the story of Midas, but it's just not gold, but destruction, wherever they touched, the state was destroyed. Iraq does not exist. There is no Iraq. Syria does not exist. Some parts, maybe, with the Russians and with Hezbollah, you have some sort of control, but it does not exist. Lebanon does not exist. Yemen does not exist. Every single state where the Ayatollah touched, they destroyed it. And I think that it is very, very important, first and foremost for the new leadership in the US, to take bold steps against the Ayatollah. We need the sanctions the most powerful sanctions that we can have, because through the economy, we can bring down the regime. And I have one request from the people of Iran who are watching us. Never give up, never lose hope. This regime is all one big lie, and it will fall. It will fall. And with the help of the United States and with the help of the State of Israel, but those who need to be first are only the Iranian people themselves. And we are seeing what's happening in the streets, and we saw this amazing woman a week ago, and Masha Amini a few years ago, and the Green Revolution, and we just need to continue, because what we have in front of our eyes is fake. It's a perception of power, but is far more weaker than what it looks. Take a look at Hezbollah. Where is Hezbollah? Where is Nasrallah? Where are all the leaders? Where is Sinewar? All this monster of Iran is being destroyed. And we need to continue until we have the heart of this monster being removed. And this is Khamenei and the Ayatollah. For us, the Iranian people are our friends. We can feel them. And through the opposition in Britain and in the US, we can learn what is the true nature of the Iranian people out of the cage. Because Iran today is a cage. No freedom. And if you go out, like Masha Amini or this brave, you will be disappear. And still, that woman, she's so courageous, she's so unbelievable. And we can hear her voice by listening to the opposition, by listening to people like Reza Pahlavi and other young men in England or in the US, men and women, free men and women, that they can speak for their people in Iran. No one in Israel thinks that the Iranian people are our enemies. The opposite. We remember what we had before Khomeini. We know these are very wise people, very good people, very talented people, and we are looking forward to bring back the relationship between Iran and Israel, to bring peace, to take the entire Middle East into a whole new era of prosperity, of collaboration, economic development, educational development, and moral development. Cherish life and freedom versus tyranny and death. This is the war.
ما دیدیم که در واقع اسرائیل به رژیم جمهوری اسلامی حمله کرد. البته در پاسخ به 2 حمله‌ای که جمهوری اسلامی به این کشور داشت. مردم ایران پیام‌هایی که می‌فرستادن در شبکه‌های اجتماعی می‌دیدیم که می‌گفتن اسرائیل اهداف نظامی جمهوری اسلامی رو هدف قرار گرفته و میدونه که ما مردم ایران در این جنگ دشمن اسرائیل نیستیم. در واقع این جنگ میان اسرائیل و رژیم جمهوری اسلامیه. احساس شما راجع به ایران و احساس شما راجع به مردم ایران چیه؟
So as mentioned, we absolutely don't see the Iranian people as our enemy, but the Ayatollah Khomeini and his radical ideology of the Iranian revolution with the idea of what they call Sudud al-Inqilab, I think, in Persian. Now, we understand that the October 7 massacre was an Iranian plan. It's an Iranian plan delivered by Hamas. And on October 8, when Hezbollah joined, this is an Iranian attack by Hezbollah hand. And then on April 14, we have 300 ballistic missiles fired at us directly from Iran. But October 7, October 8, and the 14th of April, these are 3 attacks, all of them with Iranian money and with Iranian weapons. So therefore, that's how we look at it. And obviously, this is not the end of the story. It is the end of the story for Hamas. It is the end of the story for Hezbollah as we knew it before. Hezbollah went back 30 years backwards in terms of his capabilities. But in Iran, mission is not accomplished yet. And we are determined to make sure no nuclear capabilities for Iran. But that's not enough. We need this regime to go down. And we will never give up. Because this is the source of evil and destruction for the entire region. The first victims are the people of Tehran and Iran. The following victims, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen. And we need to make sure with our allies that these people will gain their freedom once again.
شما گفتید که در واقع انقلاب در ایران باید توسط خود مردم صورت بگیره، همانند اتفاقی که برای قذافی افتاد. در واقع این اتفاق هم باید برای خامنه‌ای به گفته شما توسط مردم در داخل انجام بشه. اما سوالی که اینجا مطرح میشه، آیا اسرائیل میتونه کمک بکنه تا مردم ایران به این هدف نزدیک بشن؟ به عنوان مثال، آیا اسرائیل میتونه حلقه نزدیک خامنه‌ای، میشه حتی گفت پسرش مجتبی خامنه‌ای که الان دربارش دارن صحبت میکنن از اینکه شاید به جانشینی پدر برسه، آیا اسرائیل برنامه‌ای داره که بخواد حلقه نزدیک به علی خامنه‌ای رو از بین ببره تا شاید رژیم ضعیفتر بشه، رژیم جمهوری اسلامی، و مردم به گفته شما همانند قذافی همان بلا رو بر اثر علی خامنه‌ای بیارن؟
I think it's important that the Iranian will take their destiny with their own hands. We can assist, but we cannot directly interfere. We can assist, but we cannot directly interfere. Eventually, it's their nation, it's their home, and they need to take decisive actions at the right time against the IRLCG, against Khamenei, and they need to understand they are facing an enemy which is far more weaker than what it looks like. It takes a lot of courage. It might also be expensive in human casualties, but I think there is no other choice for future generations.
شما فکر میکنید که نقش ایرانیانی که در خارج زندگی میکنن، دیاسپوراهای ایرانی، نقش اونها در آینده ایران چیست و در رابطه بین ایران و اسرائیل میتونن چه نقش و جایگاهی رو داشته باشن؟
Extremely important. As I mentioned before, Iran is a cage. The people of Iran in Iran, they cannot speak. And if they speak, they disappear. The diaspora can raise their voice, can lead the fight, and it inspires the people in Iran. And it encouraged the US and Israel and the Western civilization to take measured steps against Iran, against the Ayatollah, to bring down the regime with sanctions against the economy.
آقای وزیر،